Hi all, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Let's start rebooting work using UiPath. In today's session, we are going to see a live use case of UiPath test suite. So let me quickly jump back to the UiPath studio and start our session. So let me try to create a new project. So let me name it as Acme test project. Looks fine. Let me name it the same description. Click on create. My project has been loaded now, so you can see by default I have got this UiPath.test.activity package. So if you don't get, so you have to go to the manage package and you have to import this UiPath.test activity package. Okay, also I will just remind once again, to use this UiPath.test activities, your UiPath studio version should be greater than 2021. Okay, let me go back to the studio. Let me try to double click on this main. So once the main has been loaded, so we can try to design our simple project and then we can start to test our project as well. Let me take in a very common example, which is Acme site for this exercise. So let me go to the Acme site. So here usually we will be entering our email ID and password. After that we will be clicking on login, right? So this is the normal way we used to do. So once you clicked on login, you can see this dashboard. So what actually it indicates, you have been logged in, right? So if you are not able to see this dashboard, which means you are not logged in. So that might be any kind of a reasons, which is your application is not loaded or your credential is invalid. So we have to test in those scenarios whether you are able to log in to the particular application or not. So we are going to test that up. We are going to design our login model. After that we are going to test our login model as well. So let's go to the UiPath studio and start designing our workflow. After that we can go ahead and with the testing part. So let me try to use open browser, which help you to launch your browser. So let me try to provide this stuffs. So you can go ahead and create a variable and then you can use it up. So either way will works over here. So let me try to provide double quotes and provide the path over here. After that, so you're going to maximize this window. Maximize. Once you have maximized, you are going to type into, right? So you're going to type your username and password. So type into. So let me drag and drop two type intos. After that, I click activity. Perfect. So let me start indicating everything now. Okay, so let me try to indicate our email ID field first. After that, password. So it's in the wrong window. Control plus F2. We go back over here. Perfect. Let me try to indicate my email ID field now. Awesome. I have indicated my email ID field. Let me try to indicate password now. Perfect. So after that, so you're going to click on login, right? On login. So once we are logged in, the next step what we are going to capture, we are going to capture the dashboard screen, right? So for that, so let me click on login, and then very next step, so we are going to use our element exist to find whether the dashboard is there or not. Okay, so element exist, drag and drop our element exist over here. Perfect. After that, so we're going to highlight over the dashboard now. Let me highlight our dashboard. Perfect. So let me try to create a variable over here. Login exist. Awesome. So if it is logged in, okay, let's assume, so we are going to test for three different credentials. Okay, so for three different credential means every time once it has been logged in, so it should log out, right? Otherwise you'll be knowing that, so it will be landed on the same page. So as we already know how the ACME, so which is Acme side works, so basically we have to log out. After that only we can able to log in with the another credential. So if we didn't logged out, so it will be jumped to the same page which will does not ask any credentials. So what actually we can do, so if it is successfully logged in, so we have to log out that particular page, right? So for that we can make a simple if condition over there. If, awesome, here we are going to make a condition which is login exists. If login exists, the very next activity what actually we are going to do, so we are going to click on logout. So let me drag and drop the click and try to indicate over here. Perfect. Also try to check each and every time, so whether the selector has been identified properly or not, which will help you to perform your automation with the high accuracy. So in my case I can see all the selector looks good. Click on OK. Perfect. So let me try to indicate this and check also. So here I don't see anything called as dashboard, right? So what I will do, I will just try to improvise this selector. Okay, I'll just go to the Open UI Explorer so that I can pick so many attributes. So which is many attributes which will be there, ID, a name, so many attributes will be there. So you can go ahead and pick any attributes which is needed for you. So let me wait for the UI Explorer to get it open. So the next step what actually I will do, I will just try to indicate once again. Okay, as in the wrong screen, let me Control plus F2. Okay, let me try to indicate this dashboard once again. I have indicated once again, so it's validated now. Let me try to pick some other attributes which is a name. Let me try to validate. So here these are the spaces which you can see in the screen, right? So what I will do, I will just try to remove this and make a star, and then I will try to remove this, kill this and make a star. Perfect. And try to validate now. Okay, awesome. I hope this too will be suffice for me. I'll just click on save. After that what I will do, I will just try to log out this particular page. Okay, after logout, what the next step? So I am just going to close this browser so that I can launch this particular browser once again and I can test my data seamlessly with the different credentials. Let me try to do that up. So let me try to drag and drop a click activity over here. Sorry, it's an element exists. Click activity. Perfect. And then try to indicate on this close mock. Awesome. So let me try to check the selector now. Yeah, it's a name close and this will be the title. Perfect. So let me check this username and password as well. Okay, cool. ID looks perfect. Awesome. So here we are going to create two kind of arguments. One is for email and another for password. So now we will be having a question. So why we need to create an argument? Okay. So once you try to create your framework in this particular XAML file, so test case. Okay. So you can see three kind of an state, right? One is given, another one is when, after that then. So to send a value from the given, so we have to create an argument. So then only we can able to pass the value, correct? So we are going to create an in argument over here. Okay. So which is username. Okay. Perfect. After that password. Awesome. And then try to call both over here. Okay. Username. After that password. Perfect. So now all that will be gone now. So you have designed your framework till now. Also, don't forget to change this particular variable to argument, so it will be useful in your then state. Okay. So we have created as a variable, right? So try to convert this an argument. So this particular variable will be going to useful in the then state of your test case. Let me show you that. So once you have developed all your scenarios, what will be the next step? So you have to right click and then create test case. Click on create test case. Once you clicked on create test case, you can see this particular pop-up. So in this, what actually the name should be for the test case and what are the test data. So everything will be asked over here. Okay. So what I will do, I will just do ACME test case 1. Otherwise test case 1 or login, anything you can go ahead and make it up. So test data I will just pass in the later, next, and then create. So once I clicked on create, I can see one more test example has been created, right? So you can see all the things has been given. So which is given, when, and then 3 kind of a state has been created. So this import argument, so we have to populate all our import arguments. We have missed to mark this login exists to the out. So let me try to change that as well. Click on save and then try to close this. Now try to open your main. Perfect. You can see all kind of 3 arguments, right? Awesome. So you're going to pass 3 different datas. So now we'll be having one more question. Hey, how I will be passing 3 different datas? So how this will be possible now? So you can prepare kind of an Excel where you will have all the test datas. Okay, you can pass all the test data in a single chart and then you can go ahead and test one by one. So if you are going to test for only one scenario, which is only for one data, so you can directly drag and drop or assign activity and you can pass the variable over here in the username password. Let's assume if you are going to test for so many credentials, which means you are going to check for around 10 to 5 credentials. So whether it is stable or not, the login side is stable or not. So during those scenarios, you cannot use the multiple assigns, right? So in such a scenarios, what actually you can do, you can go ahead and create an Excel spreadsheet. You can make 2 kind of a column, username, password, and you can stack all the username password over there. So let me quickly try to create that up. So let me try to create a spreadsheet quickly. Test data. Perfect. And try to open it up. Inside this, we are going to make 2 kind of a column, which is username and password. Username and then password. Perfect. So we are going to check for 3 different credentials now. Okay. So what I will do, I will just try to highlight this. I will just try to use ABC at XYZ. Okay. In that I will just make 1 2 3 4 5 6 as password, and then second one I will make the right one. Okay. Sorry. Copy this. And then try to save your password over here. Perfect. And then next one, so you can make any other something which is gmail.com. Okay, perfect. So these are the 3 different credentials. So what I will do, I will just remove the hyperlink from everything. Okay. Awesome. And then make everything properly. Perfect. So let me try to save this. So these are the 3 different username and passwords which are going to test now. Okay, this is a valid one. In this scenario, our test case should be pass. Okay, so let me try to close this spreadsheet now. Perfect. Also, so you have forgot to mark this empty checkbox, right? So once you are going to type over here, so you have to mark your empty field as true. So let me try to mark that up. Empty field true, and then empty field over here also true. Perfect. Now let me try to connect the data set with this particular test file. So let me right click, and then here you can see something called as add test data, right? Click over here. Once I clicked over here, you can see source existing, right, in this file. So after that, it will be asking which particular file. You can go here and highlight your spreadsheet file and then click on open. So once you clicked on open, you can see all the data which is in a spreadsheet, which will be available over here. Okay, in this you can able to select all the data, or else if you want to test only these 2 data, you can be able to do that. In our scenarios, I was going to test all the data. So let me click on import. Once I clicked on import, you can see something called as data successfully import to the test sheet 1 JSON. Perfect. So now all the test data has been imported. So what's the very next step? So we are going to test it up. That's it. You can see over here what are the test data has been imported inside your testing. So here you can see 3 kind of test data. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. In our third scenario, it should be successful. For the top 2, it will be failure. To make this failure successful, so we have to use some verification activities. So let me go to the activity panel. Let me try to type as testing. So here you can see something called as verification, right? From this verification activity, we are going to use our verification expression with operator activity. Okay, so in this we are going to pass our first expression as our login exist. Okay, so I guess we didn't create any variable for that, so that's why it was not showing up. So what's the next step? So you have to create a variable for this login exist. So let me try to create it at, so which is login exist. Okay, perfect. For username password, it will be automatically created once you imported data. You can see, right, username password. This particular 2 argument I didn't create it. So once you imported your data set, automatically this 2 argument has been created. Okay, so what I will do, I will just try to use this username, okay, and then password. After that, I have just created a variable for this login exist also. So what I will do, I will just call this login exist now. I guess there is some scope issue. Let me try to change the scope. Login exist. After that, the very next expression, it should be true, right? So if it is true, then only your condition has been satisfied, else no. So what I have done till now, I have created my workflow. After that, I have just created a test case. In the test case, I have imported my all the test data. After that, I have just made a verification activity to verify whether it has been logged in perfectly or not using the verification activity. Okay, so till now, so we have done all our setups. The very next step, we are going to test all our test cases, and then we are going to find out which are getting failed and which are getting successful. We can check our text execution on our next session. We will be running all these test cases on our next session. Stay tuned for our next session. I hope this will be helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Have a good day.